Midnight Express is a 1978 prison drama film directed by Alan Parker and adapted for the screen by Oliver Stone from Billy Hayes' 1977 memoir of the same name. It stars Brad Davis in the lead role, with a supporting cast that includes Irene Miracle, John Hurt, Bo Hopkins, Paul L. Smith, and Randy Quaid. The plot follows Billy Hayes, played by Brad Davis, a young American caught by Turkish police while attempting to smuggle hashish out of Istanbul. He is tried and sentenced to 4 years in prison, where he endures all kinds of abuse. When his time is nearly up, he is shocked to learn that the Turkish Supreme Court has added another 30 years to his sentence. Now completely demoralized, his life in prison becomes increasingly unbearable until he concludes that escape is his only option. At the beginning of the film, we see Billy preparing in an airport bathroom before attempting to smuggle hashish on board. His plan to make easy money in the U.S. comes to an abrupt halt when a security guard searches him before boarding the plane. Immediately, the young American finds himself surrounded by armed militia. This scene may seem like a Hollywood exaggeration. However, in September 1970, 4 planes departing from Brussels, Amsterdam, and other locations were successfully hijacked by members of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. The hijackers took control using guns, grenades, and other explosive devices. This put airports in the region on high alert, with extremely strict security measures. Billy Hayes' decision to strap the drugs to his body made it appear as though he was wearing a suicide vest, which explains the extreme reaction from airport security. Although the story is set primarily in Turkey, the film was almost entirely shot in Malta after permission to film in Istanbul was denied. The closing credits state that the film was made entirely on location in Malta. However, background footage of Istanbul was obtained by a small team pretending to shoot a cigarette commercial. A made-for-television documentary about the film titled I'm Healthy, I'm Alive, and I'm Free was released in January 1977. It features commentary from the cast and crew about their collaboration during production and the effort involved from start to finish. It also includes behind-the-scenes footage and Billy Hayes' emotional first visit to the prison set. There are some major differences between the book and the film. As Hollywood often does, the real story was fictionalized to make it more compelling. In the movie, Hayes is in Turkey with his girlfriend when he is arrested, but in reality, he was traveling alone. Although Billy spent 17 days in the prison psychiatric hospital in 1972, he never bit anyone's tongue, an act that, in the film, results in his transfer to a ward for the criminally insane. The book ends with Hayes being transferred to a prison on an island, from which he eventually escapes by stealing a raft and rowing 17 miles through a violent storm, then traveling on foot and by bus to Istanbul before crossing the border into Greece. In the film, this is replaced by a violent scene in which he unknowingly kills the head guard who is about to assault him. This scene of physical sexual assault was entirely fictionalized. Billy never claimed in the book to have suffered sexual violence at the hands of his Turkish guards or fellow prisoners, though he did develop a relationship with another man while incarcerated. The movie portrays Hayes forming a close bond with a fellow prisoner named Eric Tusweed, but their relationship never becomes fully physical. On the night of the Golden Globe Awards, Irene Miracle, who plays Billy's girlfriend, tripped and fell in the rush toward the ballroom. She was briefly trampled by the crowd and ended up on the wrong side of the velvet rope, unable to convince security that she belonged inside. Eventually, others in the group realized she was missing and got security to let her in. By then, she was emotionally shaken for the rest of the night. In an interview, she mentioned that her only concern about appearing nude in the film was what her father would think when he saw it. Otherwise, the scene didn't bother her at all. But filming it proved difficult because it had to be shot over 20 times. A privacy box was built so that only Brad Davis and the cinematographer could see what was happening. While she was personally comfortable with the scene, repeating it over and over with a full crew watching was challenging, which is why the privacy box was made to help her feel more at ease. Speaking of that scene, it could have been even more shocking than it was. Originally, Maureen McCormick, best known for playing teenage Marsha Brady in the family sitcom The Brady Bunch, auditioned for the role of Susan in hopes of reviving her career and shedding her wholesome image. She was completely willing to do the required nudity. She was called back multiple times for auditions with director Alan Parker, but in the end, she was rejected because he felt her Brady Bunch fame would be too distracting for the audience. Now, can you imagine if this film had featured Marsha Brady topless in that scene? That would have stunned audiences. Go back and watch this raw, intense movie. It's quite an experience.
Here we end. Thank you for your attention. Like and subscribe. There are many interesting things ahead. Good luck.